Hi students, today I am here to discuss about your term 2 CBSE class 10 social science paper. I know अभी just सब paper दे के निकले हैं and here I am with set number 2 to tell you about the paper. तो इससे पहले कि हम क्वेश्चंस को डायरेक्टली डिस्कस करें, बात करें कि कौन से चैप्टर से किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस आए थे, थोड़ा उनके आंसर्स को भी किसी क्वेश्चंस के हम डिस्कस कर ले. बट बिफोर दैट लेट मी टेल यू दैट द पेपर वाज वेरी वेरी ईजी. कोई भी ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं था जो कि बहुत ट्विस्टेड हो या हम हॉट्स के कैटेगरी में जैसे पढ़ते समय हम बता रहे थे उस टाइप का. नो, द पेपर वॉज वेरी ईजी, वेरी सिंपल, and it was entirely based on NCERT, something that I have been emphasizing on time and again कि NCERT हमारी बेस बुक होनी चाहिए. सबसे पहले अगर हमारी प्रेपरेशन वहाँ से 100% हुई है तो हम इस पेपर को आराम से विद इन टाइम सॉल्व कर सकते थे, कंप्लीट कर सकते थे, रिवाइज भी कर सकते थे एंड कंप्लीट 40 on 40 आराम से आ सकते हैं. येस, फॉर चिल्ड्रन जिनकी प्रेपरेशन शायद थोड़ी एवरेज रही है या एवरेज से थोड़ी कम रही है, फॉर देम ऑल्सो आई एम गोइंग टू सजेस्ट कि पेपर इतना डायरेक्ट एंड इतना सिंपल था कि स्टिल यू ऑल हैव द चांस टू स्कोर अराउंड और एटलीस्ट अबव 35. बट 40 out of 40 तो बहुत सारे बच्चों के आने के चांसेस हैं. सो हियर आई एम डिस्कसिंग द सेट 2 ऑफ योर CBSE टर्म 2 SST पेपर जो आप लोगों ने जस्ट अभी दिया है. सो हियर इट वॉज कम्प्लीटली बेस्ड ऑन द सैम्पल पेपर. जो सैम्पल पेपर CBSE ने रिलीज़ किया था टर्म 2 के लिए, ये बिल्कुल पेपर आपका सैम्पल पेपर पर ही बेस्ड है. कोई इसमें डेविएशन नहीं है. जितने सेक्शन सैम्पल पेपर में थे उतने सेक्शंस ही आपके यहाँ पर गिवन है. सो हियर वी हैव सेक्शन ए जहाँ पे आपके 5 क्वेश्चंस हैं एंड दे आर 2 marks ईच. Section B, which is having 6 to 8 questions, 3 questions, that is question number 6 to question number 8. Again, this is for 3 marks each. Section C is having 2 questions, that is 9 and 10, and here you are having the question of 5 marks each. Then you have question number D, where you have 2 case-based questions, question number 11 and question number 12. And section E is your map-based question, जहाँ पे आपका question number 13 होता है, जो 13.1 आपका हिस्ट्री का होता है, and 13.2 is a question of map from your geography section. So let's start with the discussion of this paper. Section A, which is very short answer type questions. Here you have 5 questions of 2 marks each. जहाँ पे जो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन है वो हिस्ट्री का है. दैट इज हाउ वॉज द साइमन कमीशन ग्रीटेड इन इंडिया इन 1928, एक्सप्लेन. वेल, ये हिस्ट्री में तो आपका एक ही चैप्टर आ रहा था, नेशनलिज्म इन इंडिया, एंड ये क्वेश्चन बिल्कुल वहाँ से सीधा सा है जहाँ पे आपको सिर्फ ये बताना है दैट येस साइमन कमीशन को क्यों इंडिया में लोग वेलकम नहीं कर रहे थे, वाई वॉज इट नॉट ग्रेटेड. रीज़न इज़ कि यहाँ पर जो मेंबर्स थे साइमन कमीशन के हु वर सपोज टू टेक डिसीजंस अबाउट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ इंडिया, all of them were from outside. No Indian member was there, and this person, Sir Simon, was actually the head of that commission, and therefore it is Simon Commission. And when he came to India, and he was just going around to have a look at the at the region, and therefore people did not welcome him. They greeted him with "Go back, Simon" slogans. Question number 2. How is one-party system different from two-party system? Explain with examples. Again, ये question आपका political party से है. In fact, political party से आपके बहुत questions आए हैं political science के इस exam में. ये जो question है one-party system, two-party system, again very direct, जहाँ पे आपको बताना है कि जिन countries में सिर्फ एक party को दिया जाता है right to contest election and to form the government, that is a one party system. कुछ countries में there are 2 parties which contest elections and whichever wins that forms the government. So one party system का example हमें सबको पता है, it is the Communist Party of China. Now question number 3 is differentiate between basic and consumer industries. Again, this is a question from geography. Chapter is manufacturing industries, basic और consumer industries. So basic industries वो होते हैं that produces those materials that could be used as raw materials by other industries. Example इसका है iron and steel industry, नाउ कंज्यूमर इंडस्ट्रीज वो होते हैं जो कि प्रोडक्ट्स जो मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं, जो गुड्स दैट दे मैन्युफैक्चर दैट आर यूज्ड बाय द कंज्यूमर्स, लाइक यू कुड से edible oil, biscuits, etc. Now, question number 4 is, how do double coincidence of wants arise? Again, this question is from money and credit, that is your economic section. Double coincidence of wants is ki when we know that money was not there, as a currency was not there, people wanted to buy something. So in return for that, they would have to look for a person who is selling something. So two people, person A, person B, selling two different things, but what person A want is what person B is selling, and what person B is wanting to buy is what person A is selling. So here we see it is double coincidence of wants, and therefore it was said that money is actually helping to cut down this double coincidence of wants, right? Now, question number 5, explain the importance of national highways in India. Again, this is a question from geography, the last chapter, lifelines of national economy. So 5 questions हैं, 2 geography का, 1 history, 1 pol science, 1 eco, and very direct question, very easy, very simple, completely based on your NCERT. Now moving to section B. Here you have 3 questions, and question number 6 में आपके पास option है, and question number 6 जो है that is from history. First part of the question, that is A part, is why did Mahatma Gandhi decide to withdraw the non-cooperation movement in February 1922? Explain. And the second part, B part जो है, that is how did the First World War create a new economic situation in India? Explain. So the first part, A part, that why did Mahatma Gandhi decide to withdraw the non-cooperation movement in February 1922? Well, it is because we know that there was a lot of violence that took place, the Chauri Chaura incident, and before that the Jallianwala Bagh incident there was massacre, people were on streets, they were attacking the policemen, and eventually we see the horrific incident of the Chauri Chaura happening, where people actually fired at the policemen. And looking at the violence, we see Mahatma Gandhi called off this non-cooperation movement in 1922. So ये A part का आंसर है. Now 6th question के B part का आंसर है. Question ये है that how did the First World War create a new economic situation in India? Explain. So इसका आंसर है कि फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर के कारण इंडिया पे उसके क्या इम्प्लीकेशंस थे, स्पेशली इकोनॉमिक टर्म्स में. सो फर्स्ट वॉर डिफेंस जो था, जो ब्रिटेन का था, डिफेंस एक्सपेंडिचर वो बढ़ गया. इन अ वे इंडिया वाज इम्पैक्टेड. न्यू टैक्सेस, कस्टम ड्यूटी वाज इम्पोज्ड इन इंडिया. दिस वाज द सेकंड थिंग. थर्ड थिंग दैट हैपेंड वाज कि किस तरीके से यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं दैट देयर वाज फोर्स्ड रिक्रूटमेंट. There was shortage of food because there was a bad harvest, and as a result the productivity of food was not there. Half of the crops that were produced were sent to people who were fighting war, and there was an epidemic at this time. So all this was a problem, right? All this was impacting the economy of India. Now question number 7 जो है, that is in inverted commas you have a statement, democratic governments are better than any other form of governments. Justify the statement. Again, this is from the outcomes of democracy, political science. यहाँ पे आपको जस्टिफाई करना है कि क्यों हम कहते हैं कि डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट इज़ बेटर देन एनी अदर फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. सो बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हैं आपकी बुक में, मैं आपको बता रही हूँ. यू जस्ट हैव टू इलेबोरेट, आपको उसको इलेबोरेट करके लिखना था. जैसे कि डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट जो होता है वो अकाउंटेबल होता है, रिस्पॉन्सिव होता है, लेजिटिमेट फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट होता है. Then second point could have been that democratic form of government, there is a scope to make correction. Third, democratic form of government ensures that the decision making is the quality of decision making is better. Fourth, in a democratic form of government, we know that there is a respect that is given to every person. So the respect and dignity of the citizen is enhanced. Fifth, जो सोशल डाइवर्सिटी या डिफरेंसेस एग्जिस्ट करते हैं सोसाइटी में, उन डिफरेंसेस के साथ किस तरीके से पीसफुली पीपल विल लिव टुगेदर इन अ कंट्री और इन अ सोसाइटी इज समथिंग व्हाट डेमोक्रेसी caters to. So these are some 5 or 6 points and you just had to elaborate on any of the 3 points here. This was the answer. Again, very simple, very direct question, nothing twisted. The last question from this section, that is question number 8, is explain the 3 important terms of credit. टर्म्स ऑफ क्रेडिट क्या है? कोलैटरल के बारे में आपको बताना है, आपको कौन से डॉक्यूमेंट्स चाहिए उनके बारे में बताना है, टर्म्स ऑफ क्रेडिट के बारे में बताना है, that right? So all that, again a very direct question is there, and this question is again from money and credit economics. So here we end with section B, which was your short answer type question. Here you had question from history, political science and economics. Very, very direct and very, very easy question. Completely based on NCERT. Now section C is your long answer type questions. Here you have just 2 questions, question 9 and question 10. Now in both the questions you have option. In question 9 also you have A part and B part. You have to do just one of that. Similarly in question 2 there are 2 parts, A and B, and you just had to attempt any one of them. So let's discuss those questions. Question 9, A part. Examine any 5 major challenges that are faced by the political parties in India. Or the B part, political parties play an important role in democratic countries. Justify the statement. So again, this question is coming from the chapter political parties, and like I told you कि political parties chapter बहुत important रहा है as far as this paper is concerned, because बहुत सारे questions आपके उसी chapter से आए हैं इस बार. सो जो फर्स्ट पार्ट है, मेजर चैलेंजेस जो फेस कर रही है पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज आज के टाइम पे, यू नो लाइक करप्शन इज़ देयर, मनी होर्डिंग इज़ देयर, एंड यू नो इनवैलिड डॉक्यूमेंटेशन इज़ देयर. सो जितने सारे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उस सबको, उसमें से आपको डायरेक्ट आपके बुक में ये टॉपिक है, वहाँ से कोई भी 5 चैलेंजेस उठा के आपको यहाँ पे लिखना था एंड एक्सप्लेन करना था. Now if someone would have attempted the B part where you have to answer the question, political parties play an important role in democratic countries, justify. So यहाँ पे आपको बताना था importance of political party, जहाँ पे आप functions बता सकते हो political party के, like political parties contest election, they form the government and they rule, they make laws. Then political parties shape public opinion, they put forward certain policies and demands. Then they play the role of an opposition party also. So these were some of the 5-6 points that I told you, and you just had to mention any of the 5 or 6 of them and explain it. Again, very simple and very direct question. Now coming to question number 10, A part is barriers on foreign trade and foreign investment were removed to a large extent in 1991. Analyze the statement in the context of India. Or B part was, foreign trade has been the main channel of connecting countries for a long time. Analyze the statement. Now again, this question is from globalization chapter, that is economics. Now A part is about removing the trade barriers in 1991, that is liberalization, where we were saying that why the government decided that okay, in 1991 they were uplifting, they were removing the barriers on foreign trade and investment, because the government felt that now the Indian industries were competent enough, were strong enough, and they would be able to give good competition to the other industries and markets which are there. They can compete in the global market as well. So therefore, for greater integration, greater prospect, we see that these barriers were removed in 1991. So you just have to elaborate here with few more points. Now second one, foreign trade has been the main channel of connecting countries for a long time. Analyze the statement. Now foreign trade, yeah, definitely here you have to talk about the ancient time where we're saying that how foreign trade has been essential, because trade was one of the ways through which countries had been connected since ancient times. Like we know that there was a lot of food culture that is there, but we know that this food may, which we call as spaghetti, chow mein, noodles, they might have been discovered in China, but then they've traveled to the rest of the world when people started moving, when there was trade. Similarly, the trade across the Silk Route. So all that you have to mention, those examples, some of them I have mentioned, you just had to write that and elaborate on that. Now, here we are done with section C. Again, simple questions completely based on your NCERT textbooks. Now we are moving to section D, which has two case-based questions, question number 11 and question number 12. And just like the sample papers of CBSE, one case-based question on history and one case-based question on geography. So the first case-based question here is of geography. I am reading that case. So question number 11. Challenges faced by the jute industry include stiff competition in the international market from synthetic substitutes and from other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt and Thailand. However, the internal demand has been on the increase due to government policy of mandatory use of jute packaging. To stimulate demand, the products need to be diversified. In 2005, National Jute Policy was formulated with the objective of increasing productivity, improving quality, ensuring good prices to the jute farmers, and enhancing the yield per hectare. The main markets are USA, Canada, Russia, United Arab Republic, UK, and Australia. The growing global concern for environment-friendly, biodegradable materials has once again opened the opportunity for jute products. So again, this is on the jute industry, a question from manufacturing industry. So let's see what questions are there. Question 11.1 is, mention any two challenges faced by jute industry in India. So two challenges, it's very direct. First, that the demand for jute has decreased in the international market. Second, we have a competition. The jute industry is facing stiff competition from the synthetic substitutes. So two problems that are there faced by this industry in India. Question 11.2. What was the main objective of the National Jute Policy formulated in 2005? So main purpose or objective of this policy was to increase the use of jute by making sure that there is a mandatory use of jute packaging, and to increase the productivity, improve the quality, and even ensuring the good prices to the jute farmers and enhancing the yield per hectare. These were the four objectives of this National Jute Policy that was formulated in 2005. The third question, 11.3, that is, how has jute industry once again opened the new opportunities for its products? So it is because the demand for eco-friendly, environmental friendly or biodegradable items have increased again, and therefore it has resulted in the jute industry once again becoming prominent and in demand, right? So this was again direct. All the answers for the questions you could directly find in the passage itself. Now moving to question number 12, this is Mahatma Gandhi's thoughts on Satyagraha. So this again is a passage directly taken from your NCERT textbook. As far as I feel that many of you might have actually done this passage also, because ये बहुत जगह पे sample papers में and अलग-अलग जगह पे sources में ये passage बहुत common रहा है. So I have a feeling that most of you might have gone through this. So let me read this out and then I'll address the questions as well. So Mahatma Gandhi's thought on Satyagraha. It is said of passive resistance that it is the weapon of the weak, but the power which is the subject of this article can be used only by the strong. This power is not passive resistance. Indeed, it calls for intense activity. The movement in South Africa was not passive but active. Satyagraha is not physical force. A Satyagrahi does not inflict on the adversary. He does not seek his destruction. In the use of Satyagraha, there is no ill will whatever. Satyagraha is pure soul force. Truth is the very substance of the soul. That is why this force is called Satyagraha. The soul is informed with knowledge. In it burns the flame of love. Non-violence is the supreme dharma. It is certain that India cannot rival Britain or Europe in force of arms. The British worship the war god, and they can all of them become, as they are becoming, bearers of arms. The hundreds of millions in India can never carry arms. They have made the religion of non-violence their own. Now looking at the question 12.1, what type of movement Gandhiji organized in South Africa? Well, it was passive resistance. 12.2, why is Satyagraha considered as a pure soul force? So Satyagraha is considered as a pure soul force because everyone's existence is based on truth. And truth is what? Truth is, you can say, truth is the very substance of the soul. That is why this force is called Satyagraha, and we say that Satyagraha is a pure soul force. 12.3, how has Gandhiji described passive resistance? Now, according to Gandhiji, passive resistance is the weapon of the weak, but the power, which is the subject of the article, can be used only by the strong. So this power, he says, is not what we call as passive resistance, but we call it as an intense activity. So passive resistance would mean not involving into any kind of violence, right? So again, direct questions. However, in this case study, in this passage, some of you might have thought कि questions हल्के से twisted है, एकदम से direct नहीं है, as in the case of the passage that is given for geography. Still, the questions were not difficult. If you could have read the passage one or two times, you would be able to answer it. Now, coming to the last section, section E, which is a map-based question of 3 marks. 13th question, 13.1 is, on the given outline map on the given outline political map of India, identify the place marked as A with the help of the following information and write its correct name on the line marked near it. So there is A given on the map and you have to identify that place, write its name, and the hint for that is the place where National Congress session was held in September 1920. The answer is Calcutta, and this question again is from history. So one map question from history. 13.2 is a map question from geography. So on the same map of India, locate and label the following with appropriate symbols. First is, here you have option. There are 2 power plants, nuclear power plants given, and you just have to mark one. A was Tarapur nuclear power plant, which is in Maharashtra, and second was Kalpakkam nuclear power plant, which is in Tamil Nadu. So any one of that you had to mark and write. Now second part of this 13.2, which is a compulsory question again from geography, is Hyderabad Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. Well, this is again direct, you know where it had to be marked, a question from Lifelines of National Economy. So here we've completed the discussion and analysis of our SST Term 2 paper of social science, and you all could see that the paper was very simple, very direct questions were there. If one would have read the NCERT textbooks thoroughly, then किसी को कोई भी question में कोई भी problem नहीं आई होगी. Plus, the paper was also not very lengthy. It could have been completed well on time. So, I hope many of you or most of you get full marks, 40 out of 40. And on this note, I wish you all the very best and I'll meet you next very soon. Thank you.